You are listening to Beyond the Verse, a StarCitizen podcast. A show dedicated to Cloud Imperium games, StarCitizen, and Squadron 42. Whether you fight, explore, unite, and or trade, we bring you news, updates, interviews, reviews, and analysis. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a pour of Radagast, and join us as we go Beyond the Verse.
Launch sequence activated.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Beyond the Verse, StarCitizen podcast. I'm your host, Sulyce, and today's episode is 133. Alpha 4.5 Dawn of Engineering is now live in the PU, so we break down what engineering changes from power to heat to hazards, repairs, and walk through the latest engineering gameplay guide so you can actually use it in game. Then we're going to hit the roadmap roundup, including crafting that is now targeting the end of March of 2026, plus 4.5 patch notes, hotfix status, Illuminalia 2955 mid-event check-in, and we announce our CIG-sponsored Golem giveaway winner. So this is one of the last episodes of Beyond the Verse for 2955 or 2025. We're going to try to get through all of this in like around an hour, but just a quick admin note. More than likely, next week's episode will be the bonus episode of our Aura going through murder mystery aboard an Idris. So that's a lot of fun. It should entertain you through the holidays. And then we will, I guarantee you, we're going to take the next week off as we get into 2956 or 2026. So there you go. I hope this finds everybody well. And while I'm here and I have y'all's attention, I just want to say, you pound, right? Just 100% freaking Talon. If you know, you know. If you're in the org, just laugh it up, and I might visit that later in this episode, but freaking Talon. Just going to start with that. Okay, so getting into this week, let's go into the actual This Week in StarCitizen. Let me share my screen for those of you on YouTube. Hello, everyone. The year may be winding down, but we're not slowing down just yet. Illuminalia arrived last week, and the season of giving is officially underway. Spread some holiday cheer across the verse with new Illuminalia courier missions, and don't forget to stop by the Illuminalia calendar each day to claim your gifts. Guys, we're going to go through that calendar so far and what we've gotten in the first several days. As we put the finishing touches on Alpha 4.5, which we are aiming to launch later this week, by the time you're listening to this, episode 4.5 is launched. We're good to go. We've also been thoroughly enjoying the reactions to something many of you weren't expecting. Early experimental VR support is here and available on the current PTU. If you'd like to give it a go, Spectrum has everything you need to get started. As a reminder, this is not our full VR launch. When that day arrives, we will make plenty of noise about it. What we've rolled out is an opportunity for some early hands-on time, very much in the spirit of open development. So you can jump in, see how things are shaping up, and help guide what comes next. This is also your final call to take part in one of the filthiest and most iconic races in the verse. Signups for the 2956 DMR Rally are open until January 3rd, 2026, so rally your crew and lock in your spot. And before the year wraps up, there's still time to enter our latest giveaway. You could win a custom StarCitizen PC, along with one half of an exclusive panoramic tribute to Nyx, built by our friends at CLX. Entries close December 30th, 2025 at 0459 UTC, so be sure to get yours in. Guys, take a look at this weekly content schedule. So they launched 4.5. There's virtual reality in the game. I think there's plenty of content to get through, but this was kind of humorous when I saw the weekly community content schedule. Nothing. And this is really how it's going to look next week as well, and basically into January of 2026. So just expectation management there. So yeah, the week for me was pretty straightforward. I actually started the week out completely congested, couldn't breathe, claustrophobic level congestion. Like that was messed up. So there was a lot of I had to balance work. I had to balance my kids kind of getting out of school for their last week of school, Christmas parties there at their schools, figure skating and hockey. And so the first couple of days, right, of this week have been kind of messy, but I could play starting on the launch of Alpha 4.5. So around Wednesday night, I was able to jump in, experience it. I got into the verse with some of the Soul Provision members, had a great time that Wednesday night. But we'll get into some of those nuances actually very quickly. The next segment will be Alpha 4.5. Just, I finally can say that I spent a lot of time in the game after a major release coming into a podcast, which I normally don't really get to say. I usually don't get to play until Thursday night, which is my org night. And that's not always a deliberate content creation night. So I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on this one. So let's go ahead and get into it. Actually, you know what? Before we do, I have something special. I'm going to go way off my agenda real quick. I got an email several days ago. This was around December 5th, actually, is the date. I'm not going to share my screen because there's names and there's email addresses and there's cell phones. So I'm not going to share it. But I did get an email from Blake. And Blake, I'm going to screw up your last name, but Kubena, I apologize. But Blake emails me. And if y'all don't know who Blake Kubena is, he is the voice actor for the podcast Talkin' Shop. So this was actually hilarious. If you haven't listened to the previous episodes, I had this I don't know, I was trying to be funny, but I was saying, we have competition now. Beyond the Verse podcast has competition for IAE because CIG released their own podcast for 3 episodes called Talkin' Shop. And so I had this make-believe competition going on. Well, the dude, who ends up being a great guy, by the way, he ends up emailing me, and I'm just going to read you the email and kind of tell you a little story, and then we'll get into Alpha 4.5. I think you'll appreciate this piece. But so the email says, "Hey Sulyce, I'm the guy that voices Gail Kessler in your competitor podcast Talkin' Shop. I hadn't heard of StarCitizen until booking this gig, but I was a huge Wing Commander fan back in the day. So I properly geeked out when I got to know the history of CIG. Listened to a lot of your show in preparation. Love it. You mentioned you're in Austin. I live in London now, recorded at CIG's Manchester headquarters, but I'm actually in Houston. I'm actually from Houston originally. I'm home for the holidays and will be in Austin area next weekend. Thought I'd reach out and see if you're around and maybe fancied grabbing a beer. Would be fun to meet you. In any case, I hope you have a great holiday season and fully recover from the ice skating injury. Very best, Blake." So first off, Blake, I know you're listening. Thank you so much for reaching out. Very cool of you. And I do want you on the podcast very soon. I think that'd be amazing. But for the listeners, I did respond. I was like, man, this would be great. Let's do this. And just, y'all know my personal life is very, very hectic in a good way. It's all blessings, right? I'm very, very blessed in that conversation. But we just could not figure out a time over that weekend where I was able to get away from figure skating and hockey. But again, me and Blake intend on being on a podcast together, and it'd be phenomenal to have him on. So invitation is open. He absolutely accepted. So now we just got to figure out the logistics. So I wanted to cross that off because I keep on forgetting to mention that email address, and a reminder to Talon. Okay. Just a reminder, Talon. Okay. Alpha 4.5. Let's do this. Dawn of Engineering. If you've been listening to this podcast, you might as well fast forward to the next 15, 20 minutes. Because this has been cooking in the PTU forever. I mean, it's been tech preview, Evocati tech preview. It's been all waves of PTU. It, again, like I said, it existed in the PTU for several weeks up to this point. So there's not a lot of really groundbreaking news, but let's go through what we did get from the dawn of engineering, StarCitizen Alpha 4.5. We're also going to watch the video together, and I will make sure that my audio levels are correct because I got feedback that the videos I play are sometimes soft. So we're gonna blow out your ears. We're going to overcompensate. All right, here we go. Engineer your journey. Prepare, manage, react, maintain. These are the core tenets of any successful engineer. The efficiency, health, and lifespan of your vehicle are now in your capable hands. Whether you're solo trundling across Daymar or exploring Nyx in a multi-crew behemoth, observe and care for your vehicle with quick instincts, brilliant strategy, and nerves of steel. Shout out Steelwicker Beast. All right, here we go. We're going to get into the video. Hopefully the audio levels are good, but let's just go for it. I don't even care at this point. Poor Pico. Welcome to 4.5, Dawn of Engineering. I love the video. I thought it was great. First off, listening to the music made me think Claire Obscure 33, which I have to shout out for the Game of the Year awards. It freaking swept everything. 9 awards at TGA. Absolutely deserved it. So just, I know, completely not related to StarCitizen, but one of my favorite games of all time, Claire Obscure, shout out. Phenomenal video. So the fire animation, like I can't get over the fire animation. Even when you go to the Nyx, here we go. I'm gonna try this. The Nyx additional like ASD missions, right? The actual Vandal missions takes you out there and you got to go aboard the derelict Polaris, right in the middle of that building is a Vandal ship that has crashed and it's like on fire. Just being around fire right now is exciting. It's really good graphics, but if you've ever seen the fire on a ship when it's on fire, they did an amazing job being around the fire and having the fire kind of come over you, right? Like on the ceiling, and it actually react the way you would expect it to or know it to react. I think they nailed the fire mechanics and the physics of what that is like to fight a fire. So again, the fire is amazing. I'm glad the video highlighted that. Let's get back to the article. All right, central and essential resource network, the underlying technology by which all your vehicle's components and items communicate, and your best friend at the engineering terminal. Take in the whole picture as you maintain the health of your ship and manage its power distribution, right? I was aboard the Clipper. So on Wednesday night, I decided to pull out the Clipper. It's, again, your all-in-one ship. Ugly as sin, but it is an all-in-one ship. So I pulled it out. The alarms are kind of, I can't figure out the alarms. I flew it for like 5 seconds, but then I would hear like this alarm in the back. I go back to the terminal and I would see that there was like an alert, like right here on my screen, you can see the little icon with the red on it. So it's like, clearly there's an announcement or an alert. You click on it, you clear messages. The alarm is still going off. Nothing on my screen said that anything was bad. So I got to figure out like what that's all about. But getting into this MFD or this user interface, it's overwhelming. So I would highly recommend as a very good first step when you're in your personal hangar, this is your instance hangar, or this is your actual personal hangar at your residence. I would just pause, get into a ship like a Clipper that has an engineering terminal and just see what it is, see what every button does, see how you can control your ship using the terminal, and get familiar, because the last thing you want to do is be in a combat situation or when an engineer is actually needed and you're the one at the terminal and you're like, what in the flying F am I looking at? My recommendation, get into this crap. Okay, very important. All right, vent and prevent fire hazards. All right, first off, watch the fire that's on the screen. It's freaking gorgeous. All right, damaging, dangerous, oxygen-depriving fire could put a swift end to your adventure. Carefully monitor and maintain the temperature of your ship and keep a wary eye out for component malfunctions that could catch alight. Combat blazes with extinguishers or an emergency vent into space. And while we're talking about fire, Talon. All right, care and repair. Repairs. Components break and engineers go down. I'm so sorry. Components break and engines go down. Even the best pilots and engineers can't stop it all. But you can repair, remove, and replace even completely destroyed parts while on the go. Remember to visit repair stations to restore your vessel and back to full functionality. Alrighty, keep going. Protect and effect. Armor. Ship components are vital to every flight and fight of your spacecraft. To help protect these essential elements, ship armor now affects damage and penetration, scaling differently depending on the weapon type, opening up an array of strategies for the universe's most daring pilots and raiders. I admittedly need to do a lot more research into the ship armor. I thought I understood it, but then I heard this wave of feedback from the community about how it's broken, it's a bad thing if you have more than 2 shields. I think, if I remember correctly, the armor is a negative experience at this current moment. So again, just getting into it on Wednesday night, sort of last night for Org Night, we did kind of a Luminalia picture thing out of Microtech or New Babbage. Didn't really get into ship armor, but I will, between now and the next time you hear my voice, figure out more about this armor situation. But ships now have armor. It's just an additional layer of protection to prevent, obviously, damage to your hull. But there's a balancing issue from like your shields being generated and the armor. More to come. All right, the engineering gameplay guide, I will pull that up here next after we get through the actual patch notes. And then beyond engineering, guys, okay, freaking graphics. I've got a story. I'm going to come off of my screen share. I'm going to tell you a little story. Okay, up to this point, y'all need to know that I have a 4070 Super 12 gigabyte graphics card. Okay, so my GPU, 4070 Super, 12 gigabytes. And I already know what y'all are thinking when I say 12 gigabytes. Pause. I got you. All right. I have a 9950 X3D CPU, right? So top of the line, just came out last year or this year. Phenomenal CPU. I kind of enjoyed when StarCitizen was more CPU heavy for that reason. My RAM is a DDR5. I think that's really all that matters. My monitor is an OLED. It's a 4K. So point being, I was able to run StarCitizen on ultra settings, its maximum level settings, before 4.5. Okay, so we get into 4.5 and we got Vulkan. So Vulkan has these, let me just read this to you. Another of your updates behind, we delivered increased stability and speed to the Vulkan renderer, diagnostic improvements, crash fixes, and multi-threaded render submissions, plus added support for HDR, which my monitor has HDR, and NVIDIA's DLSS transformer model, not to mention a graphics option overhaul that enriches color, deepens shadows, and makes your environment even more immersive. Great, this is perfect. It needs to be optimized, okay? It needs to be optimized. I know that if my graphics card has 12 gigabytes, it has low virtual memory tracking. It's like your allotment. It's how much you're allocated to kind of spend. So like when you set your graphic settings, you'll see this bar on the bottom right. That is at 12 gigabytes of virtual memory. It's attached to your graphics card. So Vulkan is GPU heavy. It also pre-renders. That's where you get all those shaders that are downloading when you first like log into the game. It's about putting the resources and the work up front as opposed to kind of being reactive. So Vulkan proactive versus reactive. I can't figure out my settings. So I had it on 4K. HDR was disabled. But I had it on ultra settings and it was way too much. Now, again, I don't know if that was because it was downloading shaders. Maybe I should just give it a little bit more time. But after a day and a half of playing in Alpha 4.5, I can't figure it out. For the life of me, I can't figure out my graphics. So I ended up moving, I kept HDR off. I ended up moving everything down to just high. So it goes ultra, very high, high. So I moved it down to high and I still have moments. And it's worse than before 4.5. So I know it's not like server, congestion or anything like that. It's the graphics settings. So I moved it down to high, still having issues. Guys, I went down to 2K. All right, I moved it from 4K to 2K. Hopefully that was less taxing. Tried ultra, very high, high. My perfect setting right now is 2K high. Why in the world did I lose so much capability after one patch? No, I partnered with OpenAI, like I'm using ChatGPT because it's smarter than me, right? Whether you feel positive or negatively about AI, it's smarter than me. So I have been working with it, asking it questions, getting into the minutia of like this whole transformer versus convolutional blah, blah, blah. I've done my research. I am 99.9% sure it's just not optimized. And a lot of you are going to say, it's alpha. It's not released yet. Guys, I'm tracking. My point being that this rendering and graphics update has taken more time out of me playing the game than actually doing engineering because I can't get through the stuttering. I can't get through my ship without things blinking through. Last 2 nights ago, Wednesday night. So like I told you, kind of got into 4.5. We actually went to Nyx. We actually did one of the Vandal missions and everything's blinking, right? Going from one point to another point, I'm blinking ahead, like more desync, quote unquote, than I would experience before 4.5. So I'm going to have a little bit of patience. I'm going to breathe a little bit, right? We're going to see if they make some hot fixes between now and when they go on their winter break. But my personal experience for rendering and graphics has not been positive. All right, back to the article. FPS improvements. We're taking FPS combat up a level with a smarter NPC decision making. That means refined perception and reactions, improved grenade targeting, group awareness, friend or foe checks, and animation syncs for an increasingly tactical and responsive encounter experience. So more fun and colorful ways to get Talon killed. Loot refresh. Loot refreshes are happening all over the verse at various sandbox locations, including Align in Mind, Stormbreaker, Dark Territory, and Welcome to Nyx. A mega 28 new weapon attachments are being added to the loot pool alongside some previously Wicklow exclusive rewards. Very cool. New Wicklow ships. Okay. A host of new ships are arriving with Wicklow's Emporium, along with a rejig. Not used to that word, of how you can earn them. Hold on to your helmets because the Aegis Idris is finally available in-game alongside the Anvil Asgard, Prospector, Raft, and L21 Wolf with upgraded components and unique base livery. Gosh, hope he's got room. Aegis Idris. Cool, have at it. Good luck. That's my professional response. My professional Beyond the Verse podcast response is cool. Every ship that is being produced should be available in the game. All right. My personal response. This ship better take you 10 years. Not to gate, not to say, hey, because I had the money, I could buy it. It's more like you can, the whole point that we've been told that ships are limited. They were limited because they did not want that many capital ships or that many ships in the verse. And so if you make it available in game, you're making it very hard. It's going to take a long time. It's going to be very hard to earn an Aegis Idris in game. It's going to take a very long time for you to build a Bengal carrier, right? That they teased a couple of Citizen Cons ago. It's going to take time. It's going to be very difficult. Tracking. But once they rip that Band-Aid off and that one-way door is open, they run the risk of having too many of these out in the verse. And if you've got 40, 50, 60 Idrises in one location, mad chaos. It's going to be mad chaos. But again, so my professional response, my Beyond the Verse podcast, like it's the right answer. Every ship being produced should be available in the game, 100%. I am curious, though, how CIG plans to maintain that balance that they've talked about of not having too many limited hull ships in the verse. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay. With the release of 4.5, like with every other patch of 2025, this came with a patch bundle. And so let me just read you what this is real quick. Did I click on the, I clicked on the damn link. Now I got to go back. Okay. So Disrupt Camo Patch Bundle. You're going to get the Gladius Disrupt Camo Paint, and you're going to get 6 items. That includes the Prism, everything's going to be Disrupt Camo. So a Prism laser shotgun, a helmet, the core, the arms, the legs, and the backpack. Specifically the Testudo. And let me just zoom in real quick. I'm not a fan. Okay. So let me just go right out and say, not a fan. I guess it's supposed to be camouflage-ish. Like that's a horrible pattern for camouflage. So then maybe it's tiger stripe, but then like it's patchy. So it's not very tiger striped. It's like, I don't know. It's like broken into sections. Like, I don't know. I had a hard time with like the overall aesthetics of this paint. Not a big deal. But where you lose me though is like this armor. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big stripes person. Like I don't wear striped clothing. At first I thought he was wearing like a military flag, you know, like the, what was it? MCU's military combat uniform. I think it was called the MCU's. I don't know why I can't remember. But it's got that kind of like tan, right? The desert tan striped look that you'd have the flag on your shoulder. That's kind of what I recognize. But I don't know. There's just, it's very busy. Maybe that's like the best word for it. It's very, very busy. Now, what I do like about it is the weapon system. And I think the weapon system is like legit. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah. So the weapon system, I think looks fine. I actually really like that color scheme and that pattern on the rifle, right? But not on the shotgun. I'm sorry, on the shotgun. But for the overall aesthetic, yeah. So what did I do? I bought 13 of them. I bought 13 of these damn packs. Mainly because our org is doing a 12-day Luminalia, like in our org. So obviously in the game and outside of the game. But we have several gift givers. We call them the Luminalia Santas. We have several gift givers, and we're giving away to individuals that roll inside of our org. And my gift was always a 4-5 future item. Well, the only item that came out for 4-5 was this patch bundle. So there's 12 days of Luminalia. I bought 12 to give away to those individuals who won. And then, of course, I wanted to keep one for myself. So I got 13 of these bastards. It's a lot. All right, like with every other patch, we have 14 vehicles that are also available now in the pledge store. Not at any discounted rate or anything. They're just available in the pledge store because they come on and off at certain seasons of the year. So with the A2, we have the Medevac, the Triage, the Hercules, the C2. The A2, the C2. We have the Carrack, the Corsair, the Gladius, the M2, the Mercury, the Polaris, Starlancer Max, the Starlancer TAC, the Zeus CL, the Zeus ES, and then back to the A2. So go in and spend your hundreds of dollars. It is that time of the year to indulge. So that is the main kind of like, I guess, the marketing facing, the public facing release notes. Of course, on the back end, as always, you've got this kind of Spectrum announcement as well. It just consolidates it into maybe less of an aesthetically pleasing report, in my opinion. It mentions a couple of other things like a loot refresh, scannable caves, and harvestables. So it's kind of beyond the marketing push. And I know it's not called that, but it's how I see it. So beyond engineering, excuse me. So beyond engineering, we got, let me just move on because all of that is engineering, loot refresh. So we got some loot refresh going into so rare items across dungeon content. It's interesting that they're calling that dungeons. Major redistribution of rare items across dungeon content with new exclusive rewards for each activity type. Loot distribution, like we said, it goes to each one of these like patch events or patch content. So CZs, Align and Mine, Stormbreaker, Onyx Facilities, Wicklow Collectors, right? Ore refining and economic balance. Refining of ores has undergone changes to a smaller volume of yield output. It goes from 85% to around 45%, while significantly increasing the refined sell price to compensate. Effectively, you can now transport more value of refined ore with smaller SU space with this latest update. So that's the why. I had a lot of people reach out to me and say, why in the world are they nerfing, right, this ore mining process? It's so you can actually make a lot of money with not having 3 or 4 ships or one massive ship, right? It's to give more value to smaller ships, effectively more individuals. The base prices of nearly all commodities have been significantly increased across the board. This affects all major brackets of sandbox commodities, 32s, 24s, 16s, 8s, and 2s. Price differences within brackets have been pressed closer together in order for dynamic pricing to better influence which goods are optimal. And then additional gameplay updates. Sorry, again, major congestion at the beginning of the week. It's like all hitting my throat at one time. Love it. Additional gameplay updates. Players can now filter ships. Yes. Oh my God, this was so good to find out. Players can now filter ships using the new ship terminal search bar. So you go to an ASOP terminal. At the very top of the ASOP terminal, there's like a slider. You can hit the slider and it gets rid of your entire ASOP like list of ships. But then right next to it is a search button. So if you are a space whale and you have 170 ships in your fleet, you can just go up there and say Polaris or type in any other ship and it's going to bring it up immediately. It's a lot faster if you know what you want to pull when you go to an ASOP terminal. So I love that feature. I think it's a great one. Caves and harvestables are now appearing via scanning. Guys, this is kind of exploration. This kind of flirts with exploration a little bit. But it's kind of fun to go around and fly planet side, scanning and discovering these caves. I think it's phenomenal. Sometimes it would be fun, I guess before this, it would be fun to go to a planet and just kind of take off. Like start from a mining facility, point into a direction and go. And then maybe you come across something, maybe you don't. More often than not, you don't. But now scanning for caves, I have fun personally exploring caves. They're a lot of fun to get into. So that's fun. All right, we got some snub fighter and interceptor balancing. I guess I could go through all of these, but I guess this is very niche. If you wanted to come in and find out specifically what was updated to snub and interceptors, racing ships, there's a couple of other like shield increases, thruster outputs. So if you're interested in the ship and what this covers, I would come to this section. Personally, I don't really want to dive too much into that because, again, for me, this is no. Anytime I come off and I'm like looking at you, it's because I really feel passionate about this. I have no ill will against content creators who create meta content. Like this is the best build. This is the best way to set up your ships. I don't and never will because things change overnight. So when you tell me that shields have been increased or thruster outputs have been decreased, don't give a shit. Don't care until 1.0. Like right now, I just don't care, because you're going to change it in a week or 2 weeks. And those videos that are created are obsolete. They're irrelevant. And so when I get to these patch notes and I see a list of like, oh, size 2s became size 3s with a gimbal and blah, blah, blah. It just doesn't do it for me. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like in the comment section, let me know. Now, if you're Talon, get, but for everybody else, I would love to hear your thoughts on the rest of this. So back to the article. All right, balancing weapons and items. Oh, physicalized helmets. This was really cool. So again, I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but physically taking off the helmet and putting it on your hip, taking it off your hip and putting it on your head. Very small, but attention to detail makes it for a lot of individuals, right? Myself included. All right. New hairstyles, great. Like they just keep on releasing more hairstyles, and that's phenomenal. Diversity, everybody looks different. The verse feels alive. Phenomenal. Keep it going. And then oh my God, the Vulkan graphics, man. I don't know. Here's more information about the damn experimental graphics and virtual reality support. So VR support, get into this. A lot of fun. I have not actually done VR just yet. I do have a Oculus 2 or Quest 2, whatever they're called nowadays. I have the Quest 2, actually pulled it out. I am charging it or charged it. I might try it over the weekend. We'll see what happens. Ow. Okay. And then the rest are audio and graphics. I'm going to keep you on a screen share because the next is the hot fix. So again, they are recognizing that the patch is not perfect. Hey, go figure. Who would have thought that a patch in CIG would not be perfect coming right out of the gate? You never play it on patch night. My expectations were extremely low Wednesday night when I got into this. Wednesday night happens. Again, zero expectations, but it's frustrating when it's the graphics. Like I can almost understand game loops and connectivity and server issues, but when it's graphics, you can't really help that because that's more on the client side. So we just have to figure that out. Anyways, hot fixes are out. This is December 18th. This was late. It was midday yesterday. So right now they're addressing 2 issues. A hybrid server crash encountered on live. Let me just highlight that so you can see what I'm reading. A hybrid server crash encountered on live will have a hybrid hotfix later today. No client or DGS updates required, but will help with the most hit stability issue. We have a service hotfix in the works to help with ships showing as unknown in the ASOP. This is a service change that will not require a client or DGS update. That's fine. I just need to well, hold on. This might be, no. I was going to say this kind of has something to do with Vulkan, but it's not what I'm experiencing. So they're also investigating multiple issues on live, including NVIDIA smooth motion, causing black screens. I'm not actually seeing that, so that's not really my deal. All right, engineering gameplay. The guide, I shared this in depth a couple of episodes ago, if not the last episode. So I don't think there's a lot of differences here. I think some of the graphics are different, maybe. So if this is like a repeat or if this is redundant, bear with me. But most of this has been in the game for a while now. So the Cambio SRT, Cambio Light, RMC canisters, even fuses have been in the game. You can actually take those out, put those in before 4.5. What is new are the extinguishers. Again, guys, if it's your first time getting into 4.5, get into your ship in your personal hangar, go take out the extinguisher, feel what that looks like when you put it up and it goes into one of your, inventory slots. Just get used to the fire extinguisher because this will save you and your crew. All right. Here's your relay station. Your relay access is what holds your fuses. Most have like 2. You can put 2 fuses, maybe 3 sometimes. In the relays, here's your MFD power and diagnostic screen. Actually, it's the engineering console that I'm referencing, but the MFD power and diagnostic. So in the Clipper, if you look at your right leg, like right above your right leg is a monitor that has your your repair options. You can repair all. So just again, every ship getting accustomed to where things are. If there is a repair all function from the cockpit, if you have to actually get up and go and find the engineering console, this is all super, super, super important. So get used to your ship. Pick out your favorite one. If you have 170, good luck. Enjoy yourself. What I'll say, actually, shout out to Disowned in Sole Provision. We have a member, Disowned, just got promoted to a level 4 officer. So congrats there. He's been doing a lot of phenomenal work on the engineering side where he's creating these overlays of here's a ship and here's where all of these component and relay items or relay access points are. So get into some of those graphics, do your own graphics. There's also other websites that are doing it as well. Just get really used to your game, right? I thought these images were very, very cool. So again, in our Discord over in engineering, we have all these saved and pinned so you can reference them as you play. But you might look at this and be like overwhelmed. So what this is an overlay. So each one of these, so like this is the civilian ships, right? Civilian ships. The image below indicates our current balancing. So this is a balancing overlay, but this shows like the civilian, competition, industrial, the military, and stealth. And what they do is they overlay it just to see overall balancing, to see if a ship can excel in one way or the other. So you look at this like outer ring, and you would say that this blue, right, this stealth is going to lean heavily in heat control, consumption, and signature. Right? Because it's like the furthest one out. Then you can kind of see this orange, right? This dark orange is leading on the bottom right side. So heat, a little bit of max heat and mass, right? And that's going to be your competition. So that's kind of how you read this. So you have strong, like optimized output. So let's say this. If I was military, this is what I would do. If I was military, I would focus obviously on health, output, and max heat, right? Those are your outer rings. I would say those three are things that you want to focus on. Everything else is kind of balanced in the center, so you don't necessarily need to worry about signature. You don't necessarily need to worry about consumption. You're worried about health, output, maybe heat control, and max heat. That's kind of how I would approach this. So know your ship, know what you're trying to accomplish with that ship, and then use this balancing chart to kind of help you out. Excuse me. All right, here's your engineering resources and components. Another great image to save and learn and be, familiar with. And then it gets into a bunch of script about power distribution, the engineering console. There's also, where was the colors? I think the colors, there's like a red, white. I thought it was power distribution. I know for a fact I covered it on the last episode, but there's like if marking on your screen, if it's white, it's dead. White is dead. And then if it's color coded in a different way, I don't see that here though. So please excuse me while I fail you in having that information ready. I thought it was power distribution. I could be wrong. Cool. So awesome, Sulyce. So go into Spectrum. Actually, this is a comlink. So you can go to comlink. It's going to be the engineering gameplay guide. Save that, bookmark it. Become very familiar with this guide. Okay. Enough Alpha 4.5. We spent literally the entire podcast up to this point, 50 minutes going over 4.5. Obviously, it's the greatest or it's the biggest news for you. The rest we're going to get through a little bit on the quicker side. But listen, this is huge. This is huge. So roadmap roundup or the roadmap update fell to us earlier in the week. And you would think, hey, quick glance, not a lot happened. But if you read it, it's huge, right? This is huge information. Crafting is set. It is scheduled to be the end of March 2026. Guys, crafting is here. We've been talking about crafting, not base building, but we've been talking about crafting for years. That's coming in 3 months. So by the end of Q1 in 2026, we'll have crafting. By the end of January, so just next month, we will have the inventory overhaul. Guys, if you remember, we showed it here on this episode or on this podcast, where they're overhauling the entire inventory on how it looks and how it's sortable and everything is, color coded and combined. It's the way a 2026 game should look. That's coming in less than 30 days. So super, super exciting about that. And then I had a lot of questions about engineering. So the engineering that we got right now is like in phases, right? You see all those ships. Some are like partially done. Some are majority done. And then some are fully complete. So what this is saying is that engineering is going to be completely done. Engineering will be completely done at the end of March 2026. No, half-assed ships. If they're online, if they're available to fly, they will have their intended engineering. So that's huge news. That is incredible, huge news. So I want to celebrate that, obviously. We also had a Squadron 42 newsletter, which, doesn't always have the greatest information or, reveals, but there was a great infographic that came out. So again, this is the year of Squadron 42, and I'm going to stand by that. Hopefully CIG does as well. I'm also going to go on record. And say that instead of a CitizenCon this year, we're going to have SquadCon, Squadron 42 convention. And that's going to be October. It's probably going to be right whenever they release the game. I think it's going to be late Q4, right? I think we'll see marketing pushes. We'll see it, unfortunately, in the hands of like a Dr. Disrespect or Osmond Gold, to like test it out and get, usually games do that, or developers or publishing houses do that. But we'll see it kind of out and about. We will see it go through its normal and expected marketing push, kind of maybe mid-year, I would say summer-ish. And then, like I said, you'll have an end of the year. I would say SquadCon in October. I would say November would be this massive push, maybe beta testing, maybe pre-access, character creation. Like, I don't know. There might be something in November. Then I think the game launches either late November or December. So I think, personally, by this time next year, we will have Squadron 42. What are your thoughts? Curious. I truly am curious. Back to the article. This came out with kind of a mapping of the Vandal enemies. So I think I have to download it. Here, let's do this. Yep, here we go. All right. So I think this is great. This is like poster worthy. Like, I think this is 4K. If it's 4K, print this shit out. Go to like a Kinko's or FedEx or something. Print this out. Put it in a poster board. This is a phenomenal thing to hang on your wall. I think it's great. The fidelity is phenomenal. And if you like the alien ships, if you like what the Vandal spacecraft look like, yeah. Look at the heavy bomber. Guys, check this out. Look, this is definitely 4K, if not 8K. Look at the heavy bomber. I don't know. It just looks awesome to me. It just looks good. It looks sick. It looks like something you would actually like not want to fly and see. Then you got the King ship, guys, right? That's too much. I can't zoom in any more than that. But the King ship, we saw that in a lot of the videos where we saw the escort carrier in the preview for Squadron 42 as well. So this is a large flying class. I don't know if these will be available in StarCitizen per se, but in Squadron 42, here's what you get to look forward to facing. So good luck. Don't die. Luminalia. All right. Before we get going in Luminalia, let's do our giveaway. I think this would be a great time to do our giveaway. I need to do a caveat. Okay, so part of getting this award was listening to the last week's episode. That's episode 132. And within episode 132, I gave a code. It was 2956, right? So 2956, the year of next year. And I changed everything. I said it on the podcast. I changed the website's main instructions, but then inside of the field, I left it as episode 130. And so some of you responded with 2955, and some of you responded with 2956. So here's what I'm going to do. If you said either dates, if you said 2955 or 2956, I am including you as available. You are available to win this award. Okay. Again, this is for the Golem lifetime insurance. This is for the Luminalia paints that come with it. So let me share my screen so y'all can see how the soup is made. So if this goes to one of my officers, you can't say, oh, Sulyce, he's biased, does favoritism, whatever. So everything I only hid columns. Like there's a couple columns that have like doxing information. Y'all don't need to know email addresses. Y'all don't need to know anything crazy about these individuals. So what you have here, even the dates submitted on, I could get rid of column Bravo as well. But you've got the RSI username and the response to the engagement question. The engagement question was, for this Luminalia, you were given a gift. What was that gift? And who would you share it with? All right, so remember that question. In column alpha, this is my randomizer. So I'm going to create this random number, but when I bring it down to all 100 and some odd individuals who are in the entry, every time I make a change to this column, it's going to change the numbers. So I have to Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and then I need to paste it as a value. So now these are static numbers. I can do whatever. Oop, I just screwed up Server Beta, which ironically he won the last award. Okay, so now I can do whatever I want to this information, and it'll keep these numbers static. So let's add a filter. Let's do the largest, smallest, and today's winner for the Golem lifetime insurance and the Luminalia paints. Largest to smallest, it is Paint MT. Congratulations, Paint MT. All right, and what he got for Luminalia, or what they got for Luminalia, was cookies, and they share it with their friends. How sweet. So again, Paint MT. Congratulations. All right, Luminalia updates. Guys, we're not going to go through all the details, but here's what's been out so far. We have gotten the Golem Deck the Hull with Ice Break paints. We've gotten the Pulse, the Piconalia laser pistol. We've gotten the Good Gift Sweater Blue. We've gotten the Spirit Deck the Hull and Icebreaker paints. Right. So paints for the spirit. We got Quartz Piconalia Energy SMG, which is actually really cool. I can't zoom in, unfortunately, but smallest detail, you've got Pico at the magazine well. It's very, very, very cute. I love it. All right, see details here. Hello, Sunshine Luminalia planter. So this is one plant I can get behind. The subscriber flare plants, like whatever, wouldn't waste my time personally. So that was fun. Then we got the Scorpius paint, or the Scorpius Deck the Hull and Icebreaker paints. We've got the Parallax Piconalia Energy Assault Rifle, and now we have the Piconalia Sweater Tannenbaum. All right. That gives us 4 more days. So today, Saturday, Sunday, this all ends Monday. Right? So 13 days of Luminalia. So I hope this has been fun for you. Last thing I'll say, I actually did a delivery mission, and previous years, my experience has been, it's just been a box. It's been a box mission that looks like a present. But I did a delivery mission last night after we did our photo at the wreath area in New Babbage. That it was actual gifts. Like I went to a place and I picked up those plush toys, and the plush toy I had to go and lock it into the grid on my clipper. So I thought that was really fun. Like, do more of that. I hate like the box after box after box. I know it's just aesthetic. I know it doesn't really change too much, but sometimes just changing the aesthetics, changing the cosmetics can make something feel fresh and new. So I hope this Lumina is going well for you. Let me know how it goes, right? Let me know how you are enjoying this Luminalia. All right. We're going to wrap this up. We're wrapping up with last episode's polls and comments. So here we go. The poll was, what's your biggest episode 132 hype topic? All right, we had VR, we had the Drake Golem giveaway, we had Luminalia, and we had the patch 45 status, our 4.5 status. 40% of you said VR support. 26.7% of you said the patch 4.5 status. 20% said the Drake Golem giveaway, and 13.3% said Luminalia 2955. Let's go to the comments section. All right, we have 7 comments to get through. Excuse me. Thomas O'Rourke writes, I haven't played at all lately. Thank you for keeping me in the loop and excited for things to come. You are very much welcome, whether you take a week off or a year off. Guys, we are here for you for that exact purpose. Right? For that exact purpose. I will provide what you need to know literally week over week. So stay tuned, stand by. Welcome back if you have started playing again. If not, can't wait to have you back, buddy. All right. Christian Oliver Cosma Holm. Thank you for another awesome episode. Always awesome to hear your take on all things StarCitizen, including the launcher. Yeah. I recently got into mining and tried using the 890 jump as a mobile cargo hold for my and my mining crew. Let's just not recommend the 890 for hauling at all. Yeah, so that's a huge ass ship to do really anything on, but to have it as a cargo hauler. I don't know. I love my 890 jump. I love it so much. I can't find a reason to bring it out if it's not a social night for an org night, which is kind of sad. Jason Funk writes, I've got a Quest 2 as well. I don't use it much because most flying games made me feel queasy real quick. I actually unpacked it last week though, so I might have to give this a try. Toby will most likely be the route that I go. Great episode as always. Yep, you're in the exact same boat as me. I'll probably give VR a try over the weekend, realize it's fun, but probably not worth like getting it out every single day, right? Every day pulling it out, make sure the batteries are charged, hooking it up, calibrating it, making sure you're in. Like, I just kind of want to get in and play. And the Tobii Eye Tracker is 99.9% of what I want. Billy the Beast writes, happy holidays. I appreciate that, friend. Happy holidays to you and your family as well. I hope this finds you very well. Dreamer of Days writes, I can't bring myself to be excited about VR. I sweat excessively due to heat stroke. Oh my God, dude. In the military, I was a heat casualty 3 times, right? Twice in training and once deployed. Like literal heat strokes. Like, I'm sure you can relate. So yeah, I am right with you there. All right, back to his quote. Like, I literally had puddles under me in combatives. Yep. I can't justify the cost when it'll be ruined because of my condition. Toby and big ass monitor it is. I'm not sure how CIG is going to handle the missed story missions. One answer is to release them in book or show format. How well do you think something like the Region Crisis, Onyx Facilities, etc. would work as a show, animated or otherwise? I would say look at the content that they are creating for marketing for marketing purposes. So when a ship comes out or a game loop comes out, look at the quality of their storytelling as it even is right now. Not even in the future, not even over story. I think what they have right now is a phenomenal formula, and they're able to tell stories in quick little snippets. So I don't think it would go into any external format. Like, I don't think it would go to like Netflix or Prime Video, or I don't think it would become anything ever that official. But I do think that there would be, just like the Galactopedia, I do think there would be like a video resource hub on their website, and it would be a collection of their videos. It might be their own way of storytelling. I don't even think it would be bespoke to YouTube. I think it would be integrated into the RSI website. And again, it would be a collection of what they've already created, or maybe even something new. I think their ability to tell a story with what they have is exceptional. I can't imagine they would go outside of that, though. I can't imagine that they would partner externally. Now, let's wait and see. Squadron 42 has Mark Hamill, right? Squadron 42 has all these big name actors and actresses. Their aspirations might be large enough, might be high enough to do something crazy, like external partnership with Amazon or Netflix. But I think the more realistic approach is this like video resource inside of their website. Okay, we have Phage the Untouchable writes, I would like to try VR, but I don't think it will be a continuous play style. I agree with you that I prefer to see everything around me. It would be cool to fully immerse yourself every now and then. 100% aligned. Yep, we're the same there. Then Alex VC writes, another great episode to remind me what I'm fighting for while being forwardly deployed. Let me pause real quick. I hope you're safe. Truly. From one soldier to another, I hope you're being safe. I hope everything is well for you, and I hope you come home quickly. Thank you for what you do. But I have a question for you. If you could design your perfect ship, what would be some key designs and features? Okay. Damn it. Honestly, like something like the Clipper, right? I think I want a generalist, an all-in-one ship. I want to have the what was the ship in The Expanse? The Resonante? I'm almost there. That's very close, but it's not. Resonante, I don't know, whatever. I want a ship that you can just live on and be on, where there is a habitation, there's medical, there's crafting, there's all these other, which is the Clipper, right? The Clipper is a phenomenal generalist ship. I want one of those, but 100% not as ugly as the Clipper. Give me something that looks, I don't know, any better. The asymmetry of the broken wings and the 7 different size engines in the back. And I mean, honestly, the concierge blue paint is disgusting. Like freaking Clipper, but I can't deny its usefulness, right? Like it's almost as ugly as Talon, right? Almost, but its usefulness, this is not like Talon. The usefulness is unmatched in the verse. But I want something better. Like I almost want like RSI. I used to say Origin. Origin was like my Tesla in space. I love it. It's fancy. It's luxurious. RSI has grown on me, right? Like the Polaris Perseus RSI. That has grown on me. Give me something on that design language, but a generalist ship that you can do all things. Maybe not a master of all, but just give me where I can be functional at all things. Like the Clipper. Great question. Very thought-provoking question. And I appreciate you asking me that. And on that note, Talon, I love you. I do. All right. All joking aside, Talon hates my forehead. He said that I have a huge forehead and it hurt my feeling. And so I told him I'd get back at him. So I have the platform. I have the mic. Get effed. Freaking Talon. I'm kidding. I know I have a big forehead. That's fine. Love you too. Guys, I hope this finds everybody well. If you want more of Beyond the Verse podcast, you can go to our website, beyondtheversehq.com. If you want to apply for our in-game organization, which is Soul Provision, soulprovision.com. We have like 3 weeks left to give to Extra Life. So if you want to give, beyondtheversehq.com/give. And that is, again, Extra Life. All the money goes directly to children's hospitals. You've got 3 more weeks. Now, more than likely, I'm going to renew this going into 2026. But just for 2025, you've got 3 more weeks. So get after it. If you want that tax break, get after it while you still can. Guys, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. I hope this finds everybody well in this time of, I'm going to call it renewal, right? Get through the end of 2025 and we're about to be on the outskirts of 2026. I love you guys. Appreciate everything. Safe travels as you traverse Beyond the Verse. Take care.